royal, or she might have a tiny bit of royal blood in her. Because sometimes, like, you know that scene in Love Actually, when she's at the door? That ridiculous scene where he's got all the signs?
Oh, well, I haven't seen that film, but...
It's not good. Avoid it.
Okay.
In one shot, she looks ravishing. Old pony.
So, would you?
What? Would I? Would I do it with a filthy old pony?
I didn't say that, I mean...
Yeah, no, I definitely would.
You would do it with a filthy old pony?
I was up, yes.
Okay.
And Keira Knightley, as long as she was there as well. I was up very late making that crap commentary. And, at first I thought, this woman's so posh. That's appalling. It'd be like being trapped in a box with a teenage Penelope Keith. But then I started to fall in love with her.
I admire you for listening to that commentary, because I think I listened to the first 2 minutes of her voice and then I had to give up.
You know what, David? That was the tip of the iceberg. It's unbelievable. I can't believe that it's like she's gone straight from school, a very, very posh school, straight to Hollywood. Mummy, is it really possible to star in a film? Of course it would, Keira. And then she's just in a film. And that's it.
It's a scandal.
And she's playing like an action hero in this film Domino that's coming up this summer.
Oh, no.
Holding a huge gun.
Oh,
action hero. I don't know. It makes me feel sick and slightly sexually aroused at the same time. David, congratulations. You've won. You win Chris Rock with Never Scared. It's his latest, searing political stand-up diatribe. Are you a fan of Chris Rock?
No.
No?
Not really, but, that's fantastic. Thank you.
You're such a contrary man. But very, very clever. Who's that giggling in the background?
That's my friend, Richard.
Your friend Richard?
He's from the north, he wants to...
Is he? That's no excuse for making little high-pitched Buffalo Bill-style serial killer giggles in the background.
It's not, no.
Thank you for calling, David.
Thank you very much.
The DVD that you don't want will be winging its way to you. You know what? I had 2 copies. Can I have one for myself?
Yeah, go on then.
Thanks, Dave. Well, it's not up to you actually, David, but I appreciate you giving me permission. I think Chris Rock is fantastic. And you know what? I'm really David, I think we're fading you down now, are we? Thank you, David. Yeah. In fact, that's quite nice, though, to have someone replying to me. Oh, but I've messed it up now. Chris Rock's hosting the Oscars, of course, on Sunday night, which can only be seen on Sky One. And the Oscar producers are desperate to find a way to make people watch it. The viewing figures have plummeted in America, and obviously in Europe. They're tiny already, but they've become minuscule. The producers are abandoning all logic in an attempt to make people watch it. So they're, bringing some new things to the Oscars. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to have a text competition, and your motive for texting will be to win tickets to see The Streets, Friday the 11th of March at the Alexandra Palace. If you can come up with a good way to improve the Oscars, I'm going to come back with 1 or 2 suggestions of my own right after the Black Velvets with 3, 3, 4, 5.
Hi Joe, it's coming up to the end of the first hour, and this is your little virtual pep talk from Adam here, which was recorded earlier in the week to keep your spirits up and make you feel less lonely, seeing as you're being really nice and helming the show more or less on your own. You've got Lila there, our sexy producer, standing there looking at you firmly. Ooh, firmly. And I just want to say that I'm sure it's going really well. You're my favourite DJ.
Thanks.
I don't listen to anyone else on the radio, and I'm sure everyone out there in XFM land agrees.
Yeah.
Keep it up, man. You're the king of the airwaves, and you've got good hair.
The Kaiser Chiefs with Oh My God. They were on some TV show very late last night, and I thought they came across incredibly well, the lead singer especially. I'm not talking about the Friday Night Project. Were they on that? I think they were, but I don't watch that anymore. I've banned that from my eyes. They were on some late-night documentary, or maybe 4Music, and the reason I really warmed to the lead singer is he was showing us around his tour bus, and he was showing us his little bed where he slept, and he said, and this is my Beddingtons, and soon I'm off to Sleepy's. Anyone who says Beddingtons and Sleepies is all right in my book. Okay. Now is your chance to win tickets to see The Streets at the Alexandra Palace, Friday the 11th of March. Supported by the Mitchell Brothers, or are the Mitchell Brothers part of The Streets? No, they're the support act, aren't they? Lila, tell me.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got it right. Good. Okay. And in order to win those tickets, you've got to come up with an idea to improve the Oscars. Ratings are plummeting. No one's interested in the Oscars, according to the host, even, Chris Rock. They're only watched by gay men who are in the entertainment business. I guess that makes me a gay man in the entertainment business, even though I'm not a gay man. But I am sort of in the entertainment business. But I love the Oscars, even when they're really boring. I find them watchable, but I'm very excited about these new twists they're giving the format this year. We've already had a few texts in. Mike says to improve the Oscars, you could make the statues out of jelly. I don't know if that would improve it a lot. Would it? It would just be messy. A couple of jelly jokes. Not sure about that one. Andy says, make all the winners collect their Oscars using jetpacks. That's pretty good, but of course jetpacks tend to burn what's beneath them, So you'd end up with a lot of very crispy dead film stars, which would be more interesting, but, well, yeah, no, that's a really good idea, actually, because you'd kill the current crop of film stars, get some new ones in, because frankly, they're boring. I had a couple of ideas how to improve the Oscars. Let's have a look. Here we go. Okay, this is a pretty good idea. You invent a new category. The new category is most hated man in Hollywood. Worst actor. Okay, most reprehensible person. You award them an Oscar without telling, for some other category, but it's an exploding Oscar. So they give a big speech, they love it, and then towards the end of the ceremony, you make an announcement, you say, right, we're now down to the exploding Oscar. One of you who's been awarded an Oscar tonight has an incendiary device in their lap. And then you just pan across the stalls, Jack Nicholson, Adam Sandler, all the big stars, Tom Cruise, bang! It would explode, killing one of the stars. Wouldn't that be fantastic? And it would give us suspense to the whole show, it'd be like a ticking time bomb. I think that would be extraordinary. Other ideas I had, nude ceremony, just do it in the nude. I think it'd be very interesting to see the tackle and tits of Hollywood's stars. Don't you think? Tackle and tits at the Oscars? Tackle and tits, that's a good phrase, isn't it? Classy. Inflatable assault course to decide the winner. All the losers are gunged. That'd be good. Get Dick and Dom to do it. Dick and Dom host the Oscars. Dick and Dom in that Oscars. I've got so many ideas. What about announcing the national lottery numbers? One between each Oscar. Yeah, that would keep people tuned in. If you've got better ideas than that, and it shouldn't be hard to have better ideas than that, you can text 83XFM, email adamandjoe@xfm.co.uk. Can they call? Yeah. They could call 0871 222 1049 and you could win tickets to see The Streets Friday the 11th of March. Now, music from Snow Patrol. That was Snow Patrol with Run. They must have been very busy in the past week. Snow Patrol, because it was snowing. Oh, help me. This is Joe Cornish on XFM. Now, we've been asking you for your ideas on how to improve the Oscars. I forgot to let you know the actual ideas that the producers of the Oscars are implementing for Sunday night's ceremony. The two I know about are these. First of all, amongst the audience and give some Oscars to the winners in their seats. So that whole sort of Michael Barrymore... an audience with Lenny Tarbuck. Who's he? But, it sounds like a cheap Saturday night ITV1 thing to do. The Oscars is quite demeaning for film stars, generally, but this, I think, is going to make it even worse for them. And the other twist is they're going to call a lot of the nominees up on stage when they give the Oscars and have them sort of line up and then announce who's won in a kind of weird pop idol style moment. And they'll probably do that thing that they always do now, which is, you've got the sentence, which is, and the Oscar goes to Finding Neverland. But they'll go, and the Oscar goes to... And they'll make this silence last for as long as possible. Just because they know you can't switch off. They know you're guaranteed to stay watching. So they extend that moment endlessly. They might do that at the Oscars. It's just an idea. I think if they've got any sense, they will. Your ideas are coming in thick and fast by text, 83XFM. We're gonna read some of them out and decide who's won these tickets to The Streets. But before that, here's a free play. This is a bit of music by a guy called Mark Mothersbaugh. He used to be in Devo. He composed the music for the Rugrats, you'll be excited to hear. And he's also done the fantastic score for the new Wes Anderson movie, The Life Aquatic. And this is a very short bit of music that the Team Zissou diving team play in their helmets when they go deep-sea diving. So imagine you've got your big diving bell on, Bill Murray's on your left, Owen Wilson's on your right, you've sunk underwater, there's animatronic fish all around you, and this is what you're hearing. You're listening to XFM, London's 104.9. My name's Joe Cornish. I'm here with you for another 35 minutes. My co-presenter Adam is away this week, but we have been asking you for your suggestions to improve the Oscars this year, and we've been inundated with quite clever ideas, really. Here is one. Okay, let's have a look. To improve the Oscars, the nominee with the least amount of votes gets shot in the head. All other winners wear explosive collars. That's a good idea, I think. Yeah? Don't you think? Battle Royale style? Here's another one. A way to improve the Oscars is to get the oh no, hang on. Actually, we're going to go speak to that person. So let's skip that one. To improve the Oscars, you could host it live from Bognor Butlins, near the Derby race. The Redcoats are so forgiving. That's from Phil. I think that's a really good idea, the Oscars from Butlins. Get them to slum it. Really damp, cold environment, rubbish food, diseased old eggs, and awful Butlins Redcoats doing terrible S Club 8 covers in between the awards. That'll be fantastic. How about this one? The person who wins only actually gets the award if they tell us an amazing secret about one of the losers. I think that would be good. So you'd win, but you only actually get the Oscar officially if you give something scandalous away about one of the other losers. But my two favourite ones, the two at the top of the running, we've actually got the people who've invented them on the line. So let's speak to Anna. Hello, Anna.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
Now, what's your idea for... look, first of all, can I ask you, are you a keen viewer of the Oscars? Do you watch it every year?
I try and avoid them as much as I can, really.
Why?
Because I just find them slightly dull.
Oh, but Anna, they're the...
But with my idea, I would jazz them up.
Okay, well, but before we get to that, you do realise that everyone involved in the Oscars is prettier than you, cleverer than you, richer than you, more successful than you. Everything they say is fascinating. We all have to aspire to the way they live. You realise that, don't you?
Of course, of course.
And that if you think they're just a load of hopeless old chancers, you're very, very stupid.
Yeah, but
Okay.
they're good to gossip about anyway.
Yeah,
So
as long as we've established that. So what's your idea for invigorating the Oscars this year?
my idea is at every table you have a little microphone.
Yeah.
And you've got a little button next to it as well, so you can buzz in and listen to any of the tables, and you can hear what your colleagues are gossiping about you, basically.
So you
and I
mean...
reckon the entertainment of hair pulling and punches being thrown and drinks being thrown would be really jazz up the night.
That's a very good idea. So basically every seat is mic'd.
Yeah.
And we at home can listen to the stars cursing, swearing, gossiping, bitching.
Exactly, and they can listen to each other.
They'd have to know that, though, wouldn't they? I mean, you'd have to warn them about this before
Well,
they
why?
turned up. Well, because you could then you could only do it 1 year, and the next year they'd all realise, and they'd all can up.
But then the next year, they're going to be so wound up waiting for what next is going to happen that
The next year you do something
you
else.
can plug them with a next idea.
That's so clever.
I know, I
Anna,
should
you're-
plan them, shouldn't I?
You should put that in a letter and send it to them.
I think that's what I'm going to spend my Saturday afternoon doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if you were flying first class to America, to the Oscars, at number Oscar Street, and having them put that idea into practice. Anna,
I think possibility.
are you a big fan of the streets?
Yes, I would love to go and see it.
Genuinely, you'd love it.
No, I would really enjoy it.
Who would you take?
I'd take my boyfriend.
Really?
I would.
What sort of thing would you do when you got there?
When we got there, I'd
Yeah.
try and MC and try and do a bit of breakdancing.
Would you push all the way to the front?
Oh, of course.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you, like,
and
go...
I'll wear my funny hat as well that I
Oh.
got Glastonbury last year. So I'll wear my rabbit hat and everyone can see me.
That sounds extraordinary. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on the show. I've got one other caller I'm going to speak to, but after that I'm going to make a decision based on levels of enthusiasm about who to give these tickets to. So thank you very much, Anna. Please keep listening, and I very much hope... You know, Rupi's going to have to be very enthusiastic to beat Anna's enthusiasm there. So let's go to Rupi. Hello, Rupi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm not bad. Not very enthusiastic, but I'm not bad as well.
Well, you're just too cool. You're too laid back.
That's it, you see.
It's not right for men to be enthusiastic. You know, it destroys our cred. We got to keep a distance.
Well, that's it. It's just a guy thing.
So, Rupi, what's your idea for invigorating the Oscars?
Well, you have the boring old speeches every year, and they go on thinking of long lines of Gwyneth Paltrow, and all that.
Oh.
Well, why don't you have them just sing the acceptance speeches? And then I was thinking, what better song to sing along to than Eye of the Tiger?
Wow.
An old Rocky classic.
I cannot believe I won this amazing award. I would like to thank my mother and father, 'cause my career will take off. I'll be the biggest star in the world, and I was going to say something quite rude there. I think under those circumstances they would say something rude, but I can't say what I was going to say.
I would definitely watch that Oscars.
Really? And you think it would be alright for them to sing Eye of the Tiger over and over again? I mean, there are about 15 awards or something. That'd be quite repetitive, wouldn't it?
Well, they could have a bit of variety and stuff, or perhaps a Knight Rider theme.
Sing along to SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, the theme music to that, just for variety's sake.
How does that go?
I have no idea. I'm not going to sing on air either.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, I think that's a very, very good idea. Did I read out the one about weeing? No. Did I? There's another good one. Rupi, see what you think of this. James from Upminster says, force the stars to drink loads of water before the ceremony, then ban them from going to the toilet.
That would be very interesting. I don't know if it would be watchable, but that'd be very interesting.
I think it'd be very watchable. There'd be a sense of real suspense, a building pressure, you know.
If they look very agitated, it's probably because they're coked up beforehand anyway, so...
That's very true. I mean, that's a libelous allegation you've made there.
Oh, allegedly coked up.
You may be sued by Hollywood
I doubt they're listening.
Well, I think Hollywood listens regularly.
Okay, fair enough.
So now, the only other question I have for you, Rupi, is do you want to win these tickets to see the Streets?
Absolutely.